Uh-oh.
And
all right, so everybody got their mutes on? I can hear me. Dan. Who's that one? We didn't check out the mutes before we started.
Oh my God! I would do that.
Oh, it's right. We gotta do this.
Yeah. Me as well.
You want me as well? All right. Rick. Man, I gotta mute you from spiritually. Can't mute you. You do it. Maybe I can. Maybe. You know, Mike is muted. Yeah, it's weird. It won't let me mute people. Mike. Oh, no, you're muted. Okay, I got you. This is me. Who to what? Where did Mike line? It's beautiful as it is.
So this is what people are saying.
Yeah. Look at this. All right. So I think we're here. Is anybody on the chat? Have we got people on the chat?
It's a new conversation. I'm a German guy who never gets a chance to see you live, and it's 1:30 a.m. here, so deep into the night. So we better get on with it.
Just run your volume down, and we better get on with it. All right, everybody. This is it. I think we're live. Welcome to Game Audio Hour number 54. I knew I was doing something wrong. This is. Oh man, I got to do it. I got to do the spiel without it written in front of me. Welcome to Game Audio Hour number 54. This is your podcast where we talk about game audio and all things related to game audio, opinions, and close enough. And so, hey, we got a crowd. Check us out.
we need to punch that copy up.
We're gonna workshop that later.
You know, it's funny because I was going over it in front of a mirror. That's the true story upstairs, and then forgot about it. I got downstairs. Is what this was between my kid. Anyway, that was a funny joke. Just let's practice that. Well done. You do that better than most, right?
You had a kid coming down the stairs.
It's amazing what I can do in an elevator. So, back to Chris Wickwood right here. Everybody has come to see us. Say hi, Chris.
Hello.
And wait a minute, we've got where's Frida's? There's Frida. Now let's see how the sound is going, because I think Frida is technically muted on this end. Yeah, I can't. Oh, there you go. You've done it perfectly. Everybody do what Frida's doing. I'm muting when you talk, I'm muting when you're done. Except for me, because I'm being a selfish bastard with the Wi-Fi. And who else is muted here? Let's straighten this out. Mike, you're there. Can you unmute?
Yep.
Shows you as muted. Sorry, guys, we're doing some new stuff with phones and iPads and technical difficulties. Yeah, Mike, it just says you're muted, but I guess you're in control.
Now I'm not. Now I am.
Oh, cool. See, on my end, it still shows you as muted, so I'm just presuming. So anyway, Mike. Say hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Don't look at me and say it into the camera.
Hi, Kyle. How are you? Actually, I know that you're right over there. I don't really need to ask. Normally, we have this chit-chat where we see how we've been doing and catching up, but since I've been hanging out with you for the last 4 days relentlessly, I can actually tell you all. So
Yeah.
we're going to skip that part of the ritual.
So, Mike, how's the weather in that side of the hotel where you are?
It's a lot warmer than it was in this room 20 minutes ago.
It's getting pretty hot here. And let's see, we said hi to Chris. What else we got on here? Where's Alex? I can't find Alex. Where is he?
See, I'm halfway in between screen here. I've got like my left eye on that side, and my right eye on this side. I'm like reversing the dimensions.
This is you being bicoastal. Half of you are in Japan, the other half is here in California.
That's right. I came a long way for this, and
both times.
It's good to be here. It's like funny meeting all these people. That, like, we've seen each other for like 2 hours every week for a year.
Yeah.
And then his head goes all the way around now. You can see the back of it too. It's like a 3D file.
We're stuck on Mike. So I got to switch to this thing when I. Oh yeah. Sorry, Mike. Didn't mean that as an insult. I got to switch this camera once in a while. We're going to. I'm trying to get Frida. Vince, you're the one doing it. I'm following Vince's webcam. Everybody say hey to Matt Piersall. Hey. Vince, I think that's the best way to do it, man. Thank you. So, Vince, do you want to say hi? Watch this. Nice. So we are in the lobby of the good. For letting us invade the space and use it up. We've got Ian. Did we say hi to Ian yet?
I'm actually not here.
You're not there? You're not there?
I don't know.
Where are you? How do I find him? There you are.
There you are.
If I do it here, this goes to YouTube. So if I can control this camera, Alex, you want to take over? Okay, get faces. Ian, say hi.
Everyone. I don't know if the camera is. No, I'm still muted. That must be better. Okay.
Perfect. I think. We got
Phil here too.
Oh, Phil is joined us
also, and this is also really special because
Phil is coming from the world of art. He's hanging out with a bunch of audio people. Not that Frida hasn't trained him on how to be around us.
We have several games and one of them is found in there. Those are each different sample from sound library that you hear on TV. Yeah, like something like that. Myers work.
The screaming eagles.
Yeah, like the foul all over. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Thanks for coming and hanging out. We'll throw some questions. I promise. And then in addition to that, we have all the awesome chat. Normally hanging out in the chat room. Or here live. Not having to use their fingers, but use their mouths. Thanks, guys. For coming. The guys ain't gals. What did I do? We're talking. All right. So let's get to the show.
Am I gonna have to ride this?
Yeah. That's my job. Enjoy it. I'll be here all day.
I'm just gonna leave it on this.
All right, Vince. So hey, the first thing I wanted to do was talk about these guys here. If I could close up this. Anybody got any of these Bluetooth speakers? I thought that you guys might be interested in these things. They're called booms, and their battery life lasts for 4 or 5 days. It's pretty ridiculous. What's amazing about these guys, I got to put my phone down to do it. Vince. He's like Vanna Whiting with a camera. He's kind of like, look at this. It's beautiful. So check this out, Vince. So you take off the top like I did. Separate this. Reach in here, and you've got yourself some fancy controls. Got your charger, and you've got a stereo in. What's really cool is you can use them in stereo. So you can get a splitter off of your laptop. And just to give a little example of its quality, I'm going to turn one on, and then I'll reveal the secret. So you got to hold that button.
Power on.
Power on. And the really cool thing is the boom is British.
Pairing.
Now let me pair. I want to see how this goes. This could be a complete disaster. Right? So my phone stops working. All right. Hello, phone. All right. I'm out. Pairing failed. Anybody want who first to Bluetooth to the boom gets access to the playlist? Go.
Oh, I thought you were going to give away the speaker.
What are you talking about? My playlist of Barry White sounds.
Yes, that's not it.
I love Barry White. Heck yeah.
That'd be a good test.
We'll hear it.
What's it called?
It's called Boom.
Yeah, I see miscellaneous.
You're looking at Bluetooth, right?
There it is.
Who got me?
Boom Swimmer?
Boom Swimmer.
Yeah,
All right. So hit a song. Hit a song on this guy, and watch your volume, okay? Because this is going to blow you away.
So.
You're going?
Not yet.
It's full up.
Okay.
Hit it.
All right. I want to find the right song for this moment.
Oh boy, this could be bad.
Yeah. I hear something.
We got something. Who's in there? Who's that? Frida, did you get in on it? Somebody steal it from you, Matt?
Probably.
Well,
That's the default song.
no. Get up, whoever's doing this music.
That's me.
Did you get it?
That's appropriate.
Pass it around, man. Feel the bass that comes out of this thing. Crank that thing up. It's pretty amazing.
Wow, it's great.
It's got a driver in there that's bouncing up and down, so you get realistic bass. sending through.
Doubles as a massage unit if you put it on your lower back.
Oh, very good. No,
So I've been using those on the show floor to play music for our game, and I thought it might be useful for people to kind of hook into that and get a really nice send. They cost $70, but I got these on sale, $50, and they are completely submersible. You can take this whole thing and put it all the way in the water, pull it out, and it still works just fine. You just shake the water out of it. So if you want to hang it in your shower, that's why they got this thing like this.
Maybe get some like good jacuzzi action.
It is.
Shaking the water up.
It is crazy how powerful these guys are. Yeah.
That'd be a cool sound design tool, man. Pipe through, like, world eyes through water.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, man, yeah, that's a great idea. Did you guys hear what Chris was talking about? He was saying run some sound designs in this while it's in water, capture that, and you've got something underwater. World eyes.
World eyes it.
Jeez. When did world eyes happen? I'm just learning this term.
It happened just now. Oh, it's a term, man.
I've never heard that term.
So since it's show and tell,
Yeah.
and since we're talking about amplifying music,
Oh, no.
I got this bad boy, courtesy of Perforce. The battery life for this is up to
4 billion years?
yeah, it's light of plastic.
Plastic that survives in the...
And it seemed to give me an extra like 3 dBs.
Hey, Matt,
Which is
or
not
Mike,
to
can you
me-
check and see if everybody's hearing us okay out in the world? Passing around. Yeah. That's so cool that that's there. Great music. Is that yours? Nice. Well done.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, you just
Yeah, anyone who has an iPhone of some sort can try it out.
That's amazing. I'm going to Perforce for that.
Yeah,
Oh.
just do it. No, you're not.
I am not going to Perforce for that.
Just email them and say, give me the rest of it.
That is a collector's item right there. Yeah, because you can't get them now because GDC ended.
Hour on.
All right. That is the end of that. So I wanted to bring those up because that's a really cool thing. But before we go into, do you guys got anything else you want to cover before we start just like shooting the stuff and start talking to special guests?
Talk about GDC since we're here.
Mike, tell us about some of the talks that you went to and what really got you fancy.
Sure. There were a lot of really cool talks, and as always, a lot of the most interesting talks were all clustered at the same time slot, which is probably very good for sales of the GDC Vault memberships. But a few that I liked, there was one on the music of Bioshock. There's of great interest to composers who want to work orchestrally. This is Gary Scheinman, I think? Yep.
Yes.
And what struck me as really interesting is that either all or the bulk of the score was done with a chamber string ensemble, with 10 pieces. He got a huge sound through very intelligent use of counterpoint and really idiomatic writing of the string. He wasn't just improvising in a sequencer. He would sit there with a notation program and work out a lot of extended techniques. He really knows how to get a great sound, a large sound, in a small ensemble. I think it's very inspiring if you're working on a project where you don't have a budget for a full orchestra, but you do have some kind of a full budget. I think it's a great role model for what kind of lush sounds you can get just working with a chamber ensemble. See, another really cool event at every GDC is the Experimental Games Workshop, which I think it's still actually happening now. I was able to catch the first hour or so, and I saw a demo of a game that I think is of great interest to audio folks. And it's called Phonopath, if memory serves. This is probably the coolest thing I've seen in a couple of years of going to experimental game workshops. The idea is a puzzle game. And as far as I can tell, the object at each stage of the puzzle is to unlock a password. And the password is embedded
Right there. Right there.
Yeah, we're going live in San Francisco first. The password of each stage is embedded in an audio file, and your job is to download the audio file, load it into your DAW or your audio editor, and process it in some way that will reveal what the password is. So to give you an example, the very first one is just, it's backwards. It's a voice explaining what the password is, and it's reversed. It's a little bit of expository dialogue as well, and then figure if you have any skills at audio manipulation, you'll be able to download this, flip the waveform, and hear the password. So that's meant to ward off people who aren't really well equipped for this particular game. and subsequent levels demonstrated showed that a password was revealed if you sped up the audio 100-fold, really, really intense speed up. Then you'll hear that it was embedded in what sounds like background ambience to the audio low level. Another example is where the password was hidden in the spectrographic breakdown of the sound. So you had to look not at a waveform view, but like a spectrograph, and then you see visual puzzle pieces, and in some way you have to put those together. So this game seems crazy hard and well tailored for our audience and anyone who's an audio engineer or just has some skills and some audio tools.
That's Kevin. Yeah, that's right. He's a great guy. I met him at Casual Connect 2 years ago. I'm interested to know what his target user is for that, because obviously it's a fair amount of skill required to actually play the game of specific skill. I mean, is it sort of a broad market that he's going for? Is it just specifically sound
casual market?
Right.
It's just pitched towards yeah, exactly.
Right, you don't have enough gems to
Sorry,
spectrum.
you can't download this file.
Hey, 99 cents for a spectrum analyzer.
Yeah.
Or $60 in-app.
Actually, that's a genius idea. Sorry, you have to purchase the tools to actually
Play the game.
Yeah.
Oh man, and you don't know what tools you need. Right, it's the best part.
Anyway, that's a really cool game. I recommend checking it out. I only saw a brief demo at the workshop today, but that looks super interesting.
One of the interesting things about that was that Kevin, I think, originally started working on that to make a really extended portfolio piece for himself as a sound designer. So he would show people this website, and it actually created a lot of interest in him as a sound designer, not just for making these cool story pieces or bits of ambience, but also the fact that he could make them into more than that. And it ended up being a very effective tool for him selling his services as a sound designer.
Nice.
Can you teach sound design by having the end user reverse engineer the sample? So like a reverse sample, okay, it's reverse. So I can imagine the same, the password dual mono, and one is 180 degrees out of phase. You have to realize why you're hearing silence.
That's what I was thinking too, the sound design of the game.
See, actually, I'm a high school teacher part-time, and I recently got asked to teach some audio for, teach a game design course and do audio stuff for that, like come in as a guest. But I think if we had like an actual audio course, like just kind of a thing we were teaching people how to use audio audio tools and stuff like that, this would be a great final test or something along those lines. Like you cover all the tools you're gonna need, and then you say, here's your test,
and it's a game.
This game that they have to solve.
Yeah, that's great.
And they have to, because the application cover all.
Patent that before they do it.
You don't want to commission an easy version. This is like this is the Dark Souls of audio.
No, true. Like 20 questions.
I managed to do the first 5, I think, and then
I wish I could see.
completely
But
I have no idea what to do.
it's kind of funny though, because it is possible, in fact, to beat the whole game with just 3 tools. You can totally do everything with just Audacity, which is amazing. It's super easy though.
That's
If you happen to have Isotope, for example, Isotope makes some of those things really easy, but then there are the difficult ones. And yeah, Isotope helps with those as well. But Kevin actually had a Twitch stream where he showed how to do the whole game with free audio tools. And I thought that was amazing.
You know, one thing I wanted to talk about it. Did you cover all your things? Yeah. I just thought of something. So get ready to buy Nuendo, everybody.
Yes.
So Nuendo has merged functionality, not as a company, with Wise and Perforce to the point where you can. It sounds like you guys already saw. Everybody saw the demo, but you can work on your audio and say you've got like 5 layers, but you only want 3 of them to be a file. You can select those 3. You can select vertically, horizontally and vertically the sounds you want, create new files out of those, and if you do like a bunch of iterations, it'll automatically iterate through the file names, so you don't have to keep exporting and changing the file name, which is annoying. Then later on you find out, like in the demo that we watched today, the guy had a great example. He said, say your reverb you find out later isn't working, you can go to that file, double click on it in Perforce, I think is where he was clicking on it, and it was automatically opening Nuendo and going right to the spot where the reverb is embedded on that file. That's pretty awesome, right? So I'm an old Cubase user that I gave it up for Ableton, and now I'm like, son of a bitch.
So actually, what I was told today, I met with them today, and it's actually an API they're going to be releasing, so you can connect any DAW to it.
That's
so
good.
Nuendo is the first one to support it,
Yeah.
but you can Ableton or whatever you use.
That's awesome.
I think Nuendo is the tightest integration.
Yeah.
There's no reason that you couldn't go with it.
You know, Bobby brought up a couple of questions for them.
Don't point at me, it's so aggressive.
Bobby brought up, you can have my wallet. Bobby brought up a couple of questions at him. One was about looping. They haven't handled that yet, you know, looping, and you were talking about it too. Actually, Chris, man, tell us about the looping question and about the other question that was really big, which was the, he wanted to set all the parameters in Wise within the export window.
We got super greedy, yeah. They'd heard all these things throughout the show anyway. But yeah, one, if you use Logic, you know you can do the second bounce trick where you it plays the file in real time. If you want it to loop, on the second time around, it takes those tails, puts it to the front, and then loops the file and renders it out on the second pass. So it's super easy to loop tracks without having to manually chop the tail and paste it and then re-render it. So I brought that up, and then again, if you've used Wise, I think everybody forgets like those files won't loop unless you check that loop box on that wave file. So if you render it out from Nuendo or Logic or now from anything that's reading the API, it'd be nice for it to set that parameter automatically, like, oh, this is a looping file, check that box off in Wise. Or if you render out 5 files that you want to render, like 10 footsteps, can we select that to go into a randomized container or a sequence player or whatever, you know. So yeah, we got greedy with what happens so that it automates all that stuff right out of Nuendo or whatever, going into Wise, which would save so much time.
Yeah, their answer was, we've heard these things, and we're still 3 months out from release, so, you know. They didn't say they were going to be in there, but they also didn't say they wouldn't, and they have time to
They said stop asking me this stuff.
Well, they let us stay, and then for some reason some guy had showed up and asked, where'd you guys go? And he took me, no. So, what was another thing? But before we did that demo, we walked over to another corner of the Wise booth, and had a guy there with the $99 Arturia Beat Step. Anybody got the Arturia Beat Step?
Is that the amazing sequencer?
Yeah, the little straight
Is that
one.
only $99?
It's only $99, and I love the hell out of that thing.
Wow. Okay.
And it comes with an app, so you can program in some really sophisticated sequences if you want to, or you can just use the ones out of the box by holding down a button and choosing one of the 16 pads that has these presets of sequences in there. But anyway, so this guy had Wise open, and he had that, and we're like, what are you doing over here? He's dropping some stuff around. Next thing you know, he's attaching through MIDI. This button is now going to trigger that sound. The transport over here is going to stop and pause stuff over here. Turning this button is going to adjust the reverb that's on a specific, file that you've got in there.
But it was just RTBC, so you could real-time adjust.
That's true. That's true. So it's pretty amazing that now Wise, but it's got to be the latest version, has incorporated. Well, I asked first question because I've got this Tascam US 2400 that I use constantly, and I was like, "Oh, do you got Huey emulation in there?" And he was, "No, it's just MIDI and MADI. Is that what it is? What's that rolling standard?
16 digital channels.
Yeah, what is that? I think it's MADI. MADI. Oh, is it Sony? Oh, okay. I don't have much of this stuff. So it's only those two. So that was some pretty cool stuff that I saw on the floor. Who else went to some talks? Anybody? Anybody speak up about some talks that you saw that were really cool? Not him.
They were all fabulous. The whole boot camp I thought was great. The first boot camp was Weapons of Destiny, and it was pretty awesome just to see what you can do with a budget. And it's not necessarily what every game is about, but it was great to see the amount of effort that, I guess we would all like to have the ability to put that kind of time and effort into products.
Like what sort of stuff?
Well, the guns were shot to 30-something channels of audio. And
That's where I like it. I mean, it's in my 30.
yeah. So I mean, Sergeant Pepper, you know, gunshots. So that was pretty amazing. Even just some of the career stuff. I'm new in game audio, so I thought a lot of that was really good. The Peggle Blast talk was really awesome. So whereas some of the bigger companies had these intense budgets and sort of showed the breadth of pushing things to the edge, Peggle Blast is dealing with 5 megabytes of memory, and they demonstrated in real time. Actually, they were showing some of the Wise stuff, what you can do in real time and with 5 megabytes, including using Wise for MIDI, which was phenomenal, like bringing MIDI files into Wise, and using more staccato, pizzicato samples for strings, etc., marimbas or other chromatic percussion, so they can keep the memory size down but still compose incredible music.
Yeah.
A lot of the sound design using the like bushes and things like that being generated in Wise.
Yeah, Wise is, that's, I met the guy doing, I think his name is RJ.
Yes,
yeah. Great guy, but...
and that reminds me, I'm sorry, of what you know.
Right, yeah, the kinds of tools that Wise is offering these days for doing things on the fly, especially with as a very primitive synthesizer in there. It's like 3 oscillators, noise. The stuff that you can do with that for basic sound design, for example, like some ambiences, or in the case of what I'm doing, we've got the car engine layered on with pre-synthesized sampled sounds, together with Wise's synthesizer to create smooth ramps for the revving engine. That way you don't have to worry about fiddling around with layering sounds to get it to sound like a stepless thing. You can just do it by using RTPCs together with parameters inside the synthesizer. And then with the MIDI stuff as well, it seems like a natural progression that soon, you know, it's going to be completely viable to be able to create most of the soundtrack within Wise using Wise's MIDI stuff instead of pre-rendering songs and putting them in there.
It'd be great if that lost art came back.
Yeah.
That was 100% game music 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's funny.
10 years ago was most of it.
It's kind of come around full circle now, hasn't it? We're back to where we started in creating our soundtracks with the tools instead of creating them beforehand and then putting them in the samples.
Yeah, it's like mine.
The one thing I wanted to add to that too, because I went to the Wise booth when RJ and Guy were showing it off, and I got them to go really in depth to like the scripting that RJ did, and you know, Guy showed everything he did with the music, and the really fascinating thing to me on that was the game engine. It didn't have, because you know he broke up, you know, musically how, you know, each round where a ball went was kind of like a scene, you know, and once the ball went through the bottom, another scene, you know, it was a music change, the key changed, and all of the notes where the picks changed. So you could basically break that down into like different stages, but none of that existed in the game itself. That whole thing was created just within Wise, using what they could pull, you know, out of Unity. So he created the MIDI system with markers, used that to trigger or create a script which defined, okay, this is what scale it's in, these are the notes that are going to play when the pig's hit. So he sent it into Unity and then back into Wise to an event saying, okay, these are the things you now have to trigger. And they basically just created what to me is a whole core, you know, I want to say environmentally or just, you know, gameplay-wise, a whole system just within Wise. It didn't touch Unity at all, except for some scripts.
What I want to know is what Fmod's doing to keep up, because
I heard they were adding MIDI, but I don't know.
Adding MIDI, oh good.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we're kind of Wise is really slaying it, and you know, kind of guys, you know.
I haven't honestly looked at my studio. I'm working with Designer right now on a project, and I'm working with Wise on a project. And it's a drastically different experience, and I have looked into Fmod Studio. But to integrate Fmod Studio into the engine that I'm using, it would be the same thing as integrating Wise. When you start talking price point, I believe that Wise per SKU is something like $12,000, $1 million budget. And Fmod's like $3,500. But if you really do the math on the pain involved, it comes with dealing with the old designer tools. I mean, granted, for the time it was great. So I don't want to knock it too bad because it does give you some interesting tools. There's just some things that are missing from that tool set that you get. It's like having a bad relationship, sort of. And so it's like, hey, like I won't pee on your cat anymore. And you're like, but you peed on my cat that one time. And they're like, yeah, but I've changed. And so we start dating again, and like, your cat gets peed on.
I'm not sure about feline urination, but one thing I want to ask is I don't actually have.
I date really weird girls.
One thing I want to ask is I don't have much experience with FMOD, but I have a decent amount of experience with WISE.
Sure.
Do you feel that the interface paradigm that they're trying to adhere to with FMOD, i.e. make it really accessible to audio people, it looks like Ableton, it looks like a DAW. Do you think that that's holding them back? Because WISE is butt ugly, but because it's so ugly, they don't worry about that. So it has that flexibility to do different things.
Yes, I think the problem is that, and I can't speak for Studio because I haven't used it. So I want to look at Studio at least, because maybe there's some cool things. I'm sure there is. Yeah, there has to be. Yeah? I'm interested to hear actually. But like in the old designer tool, you know how you have the layers. So that's like that's a sort of something that we're used to from DAWs. The problem to actually do things like play a sound and then control the volume of the sound, you have to do some very weird things like give an event velocity in the time that it moves through the timeline. So there's just some very weird things.
It does seem a bit like trying to push a square peg into a round hole, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's bizarre. There's just some weird things about it. There's no way to stop loops other than this key-off concept. And that's a separate hook from a separate way. There's a separate way that you do that. Whatever. I'm kind of bitching about the design tool, and that's an old tool. So
Studio is better.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It fixes a lot of things, but it's still. Yeah, I think when you were talking about earlier, Alex, with the paradigm for Studio. It does seem like it holds it back a bit compared to WISE. I'm not sure if it can really catch up. It's trying. Yeah. It's certainly closer than it's ever been, but it still feels like it's playing catch up.
Yeah, they've still got a lot of studios that support it, though. Right? Like Neversoft supported FMOD for years. Wouldn't switch to WISE because once you're in there, you're in, whether it's WISE or FMOD.
A lot of people use FMOD, but then they write their own tool. So
that's a good point. I was going to ask.
Neversoft didn't use designers.
No. I was going to ask if games have suffered by not having WISE or not having FMOD, but if they're creating tools to make up for situations, then games are trying to find a way around. So what is the balance there? Do you go, okay, I want to hire a bunch of audio programmers so I can take one of these tools and create and add stuff to it, pay those salaries, or do you just convert to a new system and pay that cost? Or is the reason they're not converting is because the features that are being added to WISE and FMOD aren't really what studios are looking for? So it's like it's not a clean cut. I'm switching to WISE. I've got everything that we've needed up to now.
From what I can tell right now, it seems like WISE is a no-brainer. Like more and more studios are converting. You're paying under $20,000 for a solution that can integrate within maybe a month tops, and that's on the top end. You still might need an audio programmer to do some deeper level things. You still need support, but you would need support plus a programming team to create an out-of-the-box solution that even comes close. If you're looking at somebody that has 15 years, well, not 15, I guess they've been doing it for almost 10 years now. You're just not going to beat that. So I think studios want exactly what they're doing. That's why we're all stoked about it.
Hey, are they doing stuff in WISE or FMOD that is specific to VO? Are they doing are there VO tools in there, or do they treat it just like sound effects?
Last time I touched FMOD or even looked at WISE, it's kind of like sound effects. At the end of the day, no matter what. And it's funny, I was thinking when you were asking all those questions about are you being a programmer or do you want something out of the box, those are all the same questions that a studio has to ask or that the board team asks when you get an engine, period. Because no matter what, you're getting the car, you're gonna have to make it a convertible or a hatchback or whatever. Like nobody uses anything out of the box anyway. But when it comes to VO, it depends on what kind of VO, meaning like what kind of VO, the length, what kind of memory you need set aside in the game. That changes game to game, right? Like the MOBA VO is not an MMO VO, it's not a single player RPG. Like so. The last game that I worked on was Evolve, right? And I'm a voice actor in Evolve, so now I'm suffering the voice acting problems of Evolve, even though it's not my problem anymore. Meaning in Crytek, the last version of CryEngine that Rock's is using, you cannot have a line of dialogue that is longer than 7 seconds. It's not built to. Because Crysis didn't.
Are you using the their dialogue tool, their spreadsheet thing?
With last thing they were doing was F1.
Yeah, and it's made from evil. That dialogue tool.
Yeah,
Made
so,
from evil.
It is.
so now that I'm.
It's black.
So that was the last game I was in with sound designer, so now that I'm a VO person, I'm a character in the game, I'm on the receiving end of that, where like we got in the booth and there were lines where the booth director was like, hold up, how long was that? Okay, I gotta make some adjustments. And it's like recording day.
Right.
Because of the limitations of the engine.
How's that affect your performance?
Just break it into 2 lines.
Sometimes I gotta say it real fast, and if it becomes unintelligible, we gotta write a new line and then ship it back to the designers and say, you get to put in a new line. Sorry, I know it's been exported, but you screwed up because you have these limitations, which are not their fault.
And then it affects animation if you have to say it faster, right?
Oh.
So a tool that is limited from the days of the Mellotron of 7 seconds, you know?
Right.
It's so
No,
bad.
I get it, because you're appropriating, just like standing, you're appropriating an engine that's made for a different type of game.
Yeah.
For a completely other genre type of game with different necessities for VO, which are not taken into consideration until recording day.
Yeah.
So on topic, off topic. Do you guys get together and have a way for designers to create lines of dialogue, like go text to speech straight to the engine?
In Turtleworks specifically, they have one internal in-house narrative designer writer. So he does all the storytelling, all the writing for everything.
Got it.
And he knows the constraints, but you know how like no matter what you do, doesn't matter how good or experienced a designer or writer you are, everything comes out differently out of an actor's mouth anyway,
Absolutely.
just from semantics, but also on a programming standpoint of like, where you're like, okay, duck cover grenade, second cover grenade! Like,
Right.
it's got truncated, right? The performance changes everything, so you kind of have to count for that.
Right.
But again, like, everybody does the best they can with an engine out of the box, but it's
That one in particular is not really ready to work out of the box. I know it's $9 a month, but you need a lot more support to do stuff.
Yeah,
Super powerful.
more than a $9 program.
Yeah, maybe a $12 program.
Maybe, yeah. Someone on Reddit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Craigslist.
Oh dear. Here. Yeah, here you go.
I had this implementation.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy, right?
7 seconds.
I don't know, like as this part-time voice actor myself, I don't know like how you truncate stuff like that. You just please, why would it be 7 seconds?
Because that's all Crisis needed.
Yeah.
Crytek was built for Crisis. CryEngine was built for Crisis.
I could swear there are monologues that are longer than 7 seconds. They just must have like broken it down by sentences.
They might have been streaming.
That must be it. Okay, maybe I guess barks and stuff like that would be less than. Jeez, that's ridiculous.
Right.
My sympathies.
Which is funny because, like, so the writer would forget if whenever they're doing stuff for, like, cutscenes or cinematics, it doesn't matter. Because that's all just a movie. It's not being launched off the disc. It's separate. So, yeah.
Man, that's great. So, that answered that question. There was another question in my mind. I'm terrible with segues, aren't I? Segue. Chris, what'd you think of some of the stuff there?
Some of the stuff where.
Actually, you know what? I want to talk to. I want to put you on the spot. That's fine. I'm dying to do a show where we talk to people of other disciplines and say, what interaction works best for you with audience people, like designers, artists. I know Alex at Winning Blimp, they incorporate the music almost first thing, right? And
Yeah,
start
right.
building right after that. So he's got to write a bunch of music and then start building again. Would that help you in that same kind of context? Is that something you guys could incorporate?
Yeah, it depends. We have a really big challenge with our current game because we're taking 3 universes and adding a 4th one and trying to intermingle them, and we have a lot of dependencies right now where people are saying, well, these two characters sound alike, so we have to start making them distinct. So we're reacting to a lot more subjective kind of like opinionated feedback on how the VO is delivered, what the sound palette was to begin with, things that are overlapping, things that didn't work in our game but they worked in the album, for example, stuff like that. So if we're getting to do it from scratch, I think it would be a lot healthier. But I would love to have that kind of workflow. But this one is a very weird adventure of different parameters affecting everything.
Do you think it's something that's possible to do in like a second, a 2.0 version of the game? Like, get the first one out, learn some mistakes, do the design doc, then on 2.0 change the design doc, change the workflow?
Yeah, I think everyone would definitely probably come back and know how to make a better wheel instead of reinvent the wheel for sure.
If you were gonna put in some requests from audio bands, what would you do? Guys and gals.
I was just like he's saying, so he's on Heroes of the Storm. The whole concept of the game is to put a new coat of paint on legacy characters. And we're talking like 25 plus franchises and make it interesting to babies who are playing their first MOBAs. And also like middle-aged adults who grew up with whatever, whether it's Warcraft or or whatever. So the characters still have to hold attention and be interesting and represent the IPs. They also can't sound retro. They have to, you know what I mean? It's like bringing up to high fidelity while recording and mastering the whole thing. It's like they're mastering all the VO and recording dialogue with some of the original actors, not everybody. And so as a result, it's like you get things of different levels and different grades in the same game. And so it's like this variant sticks out and it's more fun. We've been playing since alpha, so we've like been seeing it kind of level up and making it
better at this.
How'd you say?
Yeah, it's definitely improving, and I think requests for better interactions with audio. We have a lot of in-house, we call them discover tasks. But there's a lot of areas where we'll notice sound is either being too repetitive or we're not hearing a sound enough where a cue will happen in a, for instance, I don't play a lot of healers, but when I do play a healer and I heal someone, the other character will be like, that kind of tickles. I'm like, I wish that was being broadcast more often. And that happens all the time where things are destructible in the environment. And there's all these opportunities where art and audio could overlap more frequently. It's just a simple matter of us kind of putting our heads together and saying, what would enrich the interactive experience at this point? There's times when all channels are firing effects, animation, art, sound. It's like, okay, we have to scale our palette somehow so we don't max out everything in the most tight moments. But I would love to talk to them about how do we make a better system when both levels are occurring and how we let the sounds emerge more often when there's time for them to be appreciated.
Awesome points. Do you guys worry anymore about real estate and audio and art animation using up a lot of real estate for this? Do we even have to worry about that anymore?
Oh man.
And we are in the middle of getting that in a better place. Part of the problem being our game was originally a modification on the StarCraft engine, and it's all being triggered. And so the memory budget is just completely dominated by all these triggers and scripts in the background, and we're hard coding as much as we can, as fast as we can in C++. So everyone right now is kind of starving, waiting for the budgets to get alleviated from the trigger system and put on disk so we can actually have more resources.
Still an issue.
Yeah, for us it definitely.
This is Blizzard development, so it was originally on StarCraft 2 team. Heroes of the Storm was originally it was going to be a gift between as a StarCraft mod. This is a game that is being built on an ELK engine that was built for a game that was shipped 6-7 years ago. So which StarCraft 2 is still in development. It's been in development for over 13 years now.
Yeah, it's a very, very old engine that's pulling a lot of weight, but there's definitely this way. I wish we could be doing things that much more modern engines.
The engine's like a Honda. Like it still runs, and it runs pretty solid, but it's a Honda.
Yeah.
It's a family car.
Yeah. That's amazing, man. What is the numbers on upgrading tools for studios? Anybody familiar with that? Like, because a complaint that is regular that I see, and we're certainly talking about it here, is, hey, here we are doing this new thing. There's a new demand. We're going to do this thing. Let's immediately go find something old and try to repaint it. You know, like, well, come on. At what point does a studio go, oh, we're gonna have to look into a new tool, new third-party tool, build something from the ground up? I mean, it's
when they do new IPs.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Because almost every studio I've ever been associated with, they had a tools department. Now, like at VV, their tools department was building stuff. It wasn't just taking some old thing and adding some stuff to it. They were actually starting from the ground up with some tools and stuff, especially for Guitar Hero. They had this whole way of doing note tracking that was completely different than what we were doing at Neversoft. But is that the only studio? Has Blizzard got a tools department that's just going, or maybe their focus is on a different game?
I would assume all the other teams, I know my team does, all the other teams do have dedicated tools. It's just a matter of how much headway you can get preparing the tools for the project, the years the project has to go on, and then it seems like they kind of progress into supporting what's existing and slowly trickling into new features and stuff like that. That's just been the case I've seen.
And why a lot of studios aren't going to Wise and Fmod when a better version comes out.
Yeah,
Let's just keep using what we got.
Well, if you think about to transfer a project from those two, it'll take you a couple of months probably. Or if you've been in really deep, it might take you 3 or 4 months to transfer everything over, re-implement everything, test it.
Yeah.
And also you have to do sort of stress testing. Like how many voices can I play? Or, like what's CPU hit?
Yeah. And training all the people now to use this whole new process, because that's another thing that drives me crazy is when new tools come out. Even within Pro Audio, they'll add a feature to a video that's completely different than the same feature that already exists in the one you're using. I hate it when I go to search for something in Pro Tools, but my brain is going, in Ableton it's called this, in Ableton it's called this, and I'm going, where the hell is this? The half hour later, I'm on YouTube and watching some video. I got to sit through this guy going, well, my mom the other day.
Staring at 13-year-old kids.
Yeah. Thank you for the information, but please put it at the beginning, not 18 minutes into your video.
The most pro YouTube tutorials are all like,
so. Shut up, Mom! I'm making a movie. So, geez, man. Hey. I'm going to put you on the spot. Let's talk about a game.
All right. What game?
Maybe I'll throw something at you. You know what? Talk about, because you're both here.
Oh, throw down. I like it.
Let's talk about, it was Orcs versus Orcs. Orcs Must Die. Thank you. I played the crap out of that game, and I think it would be cool for you guys to I was actually going to ask you about something different, but see if we could fanboy out on it for an hour and a half. But actually, I think this would be a better. If you guys don't mind telling us the processes that you guys went through, and kick it off.
Yeah, it started to start it off. I did the music for Orcs Must Die, Orcs Must Die 2, and Unchained. It was all because of Matt, who did the Gleek did all the sound effects, and we've worked together for years now. I think since 2006. The process started with Matt giving me a call and saying, hey, what do you think of Shapiro? Yeah. That'd be awesome to put in the background of Orcs Must Die.
I actually have to give Bobby credit for the music style.
Yeah.
Because they originally gave us some kind of Danny Elfman reference, and it just felt too generic. Yeah, it felt too generic video game. And then Bobby was like, it'd be awesome if there was an orc band. Yeah. Playing near the rift. It was just shredding.
Yeah.
And so Chris was heard that idea and then went with that.
Yeah.
And then delivered.
So I say it's metal meets Mozart in a bar and they have a brawl. So it's very it's not metal necessarily, but it's drums, guitar, doing chunky kind of stuff, and then layered with harpsichord, organ, and a choir, which gives it that kind of medieval feel, as well as some orchestral elements. So but to get to that point, we actually mocked up a bunch of stuff. So we went through JRPG. I really wanted to do this Disney-esque kind of thing where the main character was actually singing the actions he was doing. I know we didn't have the tech to do that, but it would have been badass if we could have done that. So we mocked all this kind of stuff up, and really what stuck was this Castlevania meets the medieval kind of stuff, and just rocked out with that.
Nice. The pacing is what stood out to me because I got so nervous when I'm trying to throw up balls and spike things like that. How'd the engine deal with the music? Did you just do the typical layers and you had some sped up layers, or did you have to write things in a specific way?
It was in chunks. So there was like a begin, the waves begin, the first wave enters, second wave enters. Then it's about to end, we would have like a band stop.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really effective.
Yeah.
The idea that since the original concept was a rock band in the castle, like I wanted it to feel as close to. If you notice in every track in the first one, there's a count off, like a little drumstick count off. So yeah, that's the idea there.
That's awesome.
Also, our original idea on that, on the setup of the traps, I was telling this to somebody today. We wanted to do it like the band, like tuning up, like.
No, we tried that.
Yeah.
And it was like, like literally like a band's getting ready to perform.
Absolutely.
It was too weird.
For orcs, it was too weird?
It was a little too out.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to talk to you also. I thought people might be interested before I come back to you about. Is anybody? Well, I'm just going to do it. Anybody playing Smite? What's up, Gerard? Anybody?
Yeah, man, we're doing our live show.
I didn't tell you, I just set you up.
You're on video.
You're on camera right now.
Come on in, man. Have a seat. Hey, yeah, all right, man. Anybody playing Smite?
Well, I like how you talked about the Heroes of the Storm. Let's go directly to the competitor of. Yeah, so Smite's a MOBA being produced by Hi-Res Studios. It's an action MOBA, so it took the point-and-click isometric view, turned it into a 3D action view. So it's basically like a skill shot shooter, but using the MOBA rules where you have the 3 lanes and the towers that you take down and the guardians of the base. So yeah, if you haven't taken it out, it's actually coming to Xbox in probably, I can't say. Let's say sometime this year. And it's actually already been out for a year on PC. Doing really well. We had the World Championships for it in Atlanta, Georgia. Gave away $2.5 million in prizes. So it's kind of hitting that esports scene as well as trying to follow the LoL model.
Is it only a year? I remember following Smite since 2000.
Yeah, it's been in beta for forever, but it officially launched last year, right around this time. Yeah.
I'm familiar with that. I can't get something that's MOBA black hole.
It's hard. Yeah, it's tough.
I won't ever be here again.
You got to study and yeah. There's a lot of math.
It's tracks of sound.
Oh wow. Thanks. Yeah, it's funny you bring up Tribes when you were talking about that trio.
So that's going to be next.
Tribes Ascend, we had kind of the same problem where we did a whole new voice pack for all the characters. And then we got a lot of calls from fans who wanted the old voice packs from the original Tribes series, which Hi-Res then owned. So we had all the assets, but they were like 4-bit, like 20 to maybe 100K files that sounded really crunchy, and I think there might have been like MP3s. And that's all the source we could find on it. So we wanted to do these packs, and I think we actually just kind of threw them in there and tried to clean them up a little bit. But yeah, there was that, how do you get this to sound as high fidelity as the stuff we had just done and not make it kind of this huge contrast? So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So good luck with that. I don't know what you guys are doing.
He went to Tribes.
I think for Microsoft, the sound part of stuff that Bill's told me is just like, they would look at like original assets, say whether it was something from StarCraft Yellow or whatever, and try to recreate. Because you can't make something new from something old. You cannot take the actual old sound asset and put it through your DAW and put effects. You can't stretch out limited information. There's nothing.
Right.
You can try to recreate it and essentially do a match. Yeah. And then what's funny is people don't always know the difference.
No.
Really, because I think psychologically, if you have something that resembles the original art and something that resembles the original sound, players and non-technical people will forgive it because it's like the nostalgia brand kicks in. And you're like, oh, it's just how I remembered it. It's not, but that's okay. So now it has to fit at this level because yeah, you can't have a 4-bit, 8-bit, 16-bit sound.
Yeah.
It's something that's got like beautiful music and you know, it just doesn't work. Like either the whole thing is going to be crunchy or the whole thing is going to be new. You can't have it halfway.
You just call it a retro skin that they're buying.
Right.
Yeah.
It solves that problem.
Right.
That reminds me of like the Grim Fandango remaster. It's like you look at it and it's like this looks really nice, just like I remember it. Then you hit the button and see what it actually looked like. It's like,
Right.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Killer Instinct. Well, like when they coordinated on when they had the information just do like combo breaker like that.
Right.
They recreated it and they were trying to match it. And like we have all those assets, but we know we couldn't use that information, and so they matched it to this new format. And to me, being a Killer Instinct player back in the day, it really did trigger the nostalgia. Yeah, it actually does sound like how I remember it. So, yeah, me too.
Music
Music
system. Those guys would love to hear that. That's what Zach Morrell was doing and Jed. That's where in Irvine, they would love to hear that.
Yeah, there was a talk last year at ABC. I definitely remember it.
But it's the same thing. There's something psychological that people on the technical side under. Usually, if you're good, you understand you can take advantage of people's memories, which is never accurate.
Yeah.
Your memory of anything is not accurate. It doesn't matter if it's a crime or being in love. You don't actually remember what happened. You remember what you want to. So when you're trying to take a reappropriate old piece of art or sound, it's exactly what it was. Oh yeah. Or it's like replacing your kid's hamster. It's the same hamster. It's the same hamster.
Trust me.
Yeah.
With a new name.
Right.
It's funny too. It seems pretty universal. Is that mind's eye perception? We definitely get that really quick. It didn't sound like that in the old one. You're remembering it differently. Like I had a coworker who always thought "Goodbye Horses" was 6 white horses. I'm like, you're remembering a different song, dude. And we get that with the art when we update it, where the pixelated stuff they saw and they interpreted it one way. And we're like, here's the update. Here's what we intended. And that's not it. Trust us. We're remaking the same thing we did last time. This is what it's supposed to be in there. No, it's kind of more like this. It looks more like that. Okay, well, we'll fuss with it to get it just right.
Well, are there any questions from the chat room?
No, we have. We should all say a big thank you to You Saw Amazing, who's the guy in the chat room. 2:30 in the morning in Germany right now. He stayed up just for this.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Thanks, man. That's awesome.
He was complaining about the ice machine. Actually.
Yeah, right.
I don't blame him.
So was I. And the tango.
I think we should give a shout out to the Good Hotel for
Yeah.
providing us the space.
Thank you, Good Hotel. Yes. Claps to the Good Hotel. It's a really good hotel. So anybody, I think what we'll do is it's probably about an hour, I'm guessing, into the show. So we'll wrap it up so people in Germany can go to sleep. Thanks for dealing with the technical difficulties and the trip 2 blocks to a new location. Yeah, I say happy GDC. Thanks all the special guests for coming. Thanks all the chatties for coming out and checking stuff out. Thanks for Vince for doing the mobile cam business over here. And stick around. We'll just hang out and talk and find something fun to do. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.